All right, let's go ahead and get started. Let's take a look at the Qs first here. So we've been really taking a look at the pink line here, the 20-day moving average, and just watching it hold every single time it's dipped. And you can see in our most recent dip here that the 20-day has held. There has been some consistent weakness a little bit. We had a gap down day and then we followed up. Then had another gap down, but then continued to trend upwards the rest of the day intraday. So there is some overall weakness you can see, and a lot of the names that you normally see popping aren't. And Fang, which looked like it was gonna sort of lead us the way out of this little consolidation, also has been pretty weak as well. So just something to keep an eye out for, but we're still holding the 20-day moving average, and it is starting to maybe level out here, so just be a little bit cautious, put a little bit of less risk on if you think there might be a pullback that might be happening. But overall, for your long-term accounts, you're still holding long. There's nothing here that's showing any sort of correction. If anything, we can see a little bit of a pullback. So SPY is looking even stronger here. Didn't even come down to the 20-day moving average, so near highs. I don't know what the futures look like right now, but we could totally gap up tomorrow and make new highs here. IWM did pull back to the 20-day and then reversed course on Friday, but overall looks strong. So let's walk into our names for the weeks. CHWY is the first one here. It did break out of this little consolidation pattern, made new highs, followed through the next day in making highs, but then with the market it fell apart a little bit, but is holding the 20-day moving average here. And then it looks like we started to make a little pivot here on Friday after this inside day, but we haven't cleared this little range, so watch for this to clear into new highs. We can see a measured move, assuming the market cooperates, of about 20 points with CHWY. I don't know when the earnings are, but keep an eye out for any earnings related or binary events in general. All right, next one, Roku. So Roku's just been hovering up near highs, did make a little breakout right here on February 9th, and then sort of just gone sideways. We did have a day of high volume on Friday, and we closed towards the top of the trading range here. So let's see if we can get a red to green on Monday. You can either use that as a quick cash flow, or you can swing it with a stop under about the 434 level. Yeah, we can use the 434 level as our stop here. So Roku's one to take a look at. Nike has earnings on March 18th. A nice, almost inverse head and shoulders pattern occurring here. It did dip down on pretty big volume here on Friday and a pretty big red bar here. So it would need a few more days to consolidate and then break through this. What do we got? 145 level. So keep an eye out for Nike at the 145 level. This is a biotech play, Inovio Pharmaceuticals. This one's a little bit interesting because there's a few anchored VWAPs that are coming into play here. And you can see that it's sort of starting to consolidate. One thing that you don't see here, let me quickly turn it on, is the 200-day moving average. And you can see it's sort of just acting as support. So if you can, well, let's move this. Nope, that's right. So if we can get a price, closing price above the 1488 level, watch for it to continue on to the 1750. But if we pull back, there's a lot of volume here. So big volume usually means it can get above and past the 1750 after a few days. You can see right here, it tried to on the intraday here, couldn't, close below, tried to the next day, couldn't, and then tapered off before. So let's see if this is the next launch is successful. So we're taking a look at Inovio Pharmaceuticals for next week. Next one, BEKE. I don't know what they do, but recent IPO. Looks like they're in the real estate services. It's consolidating, basically near highs. We've had some interesting volume coming in recently. I did get stopped out of this one, unfortunately, and missed the move on Friday, so I don't have a position. But I'm looking for it to now close above the 71, 72 level for all-time highs. Another one of those names that you should take a look at when the earnings is. I will do that after this. Next one, Crowdstrike. We've been talking about this for a few videos now. It's going sideways and is making new highs. So this is just a trend continuation, especially if the 20-day moving average starts curling up. You can maybe see this make its next leg of an upward move. So keep an eye out for Crowdstrike. Zynga, so this is the gaming sector, so EA, Zynga, Corsair, all names are sort of hovering around highs. Zynga showed a little bit more relative strength. It already, I think it had earnings on one of these days right here, probably this big candle on February 11th. And then subsequently pulled back, did pull back to the 9 EMA and then pivoted in, started making new highs. Unfortunately, I missed it, but if this continues to make new highs, you can play some cash flow here or you can swing it. Dash. Now, I know DoorDash has earnings coming up. I think it's Thursday, but this is a beautiful setup. If you can, before Thursday, you can get a break above the 214 level. You can see whatever you want. 250, hopefully, as a quick cash flow type of trade. Next one, Vroom. One of the things here is that it's gotten over its VWAP anchored at the IPO date. So this black line here, it's been consolidating, and there's just been pretty good volume profile here. High days are always getting some nice volume profiles here. So watch for it to pivot. Well, it looks like it almost pivoted, but clearing highs of Friday or even clearing highs in this region. Around the $50 level, and you can see this sort of get back to its all-time highs and then hopefully break out of the IPO base. So next one, I know we had some Boeing related news yesterday, so I'm not quite sure how this is going to open, but another one of those names that's been acting well over the 50-day moving average. There's this anchored VWAP that's sort of been in the way, and just some overall resistance at this, what is this, 218 level. So keep an eye out for that one. And I'm just going to roll through some names that are all-time high. So SC closed at all-time high, so you can do a red to green for cash flow, or you can swing it. TDOC didn't close at all-time highs, but basically the same concept. If it can break out of this 293 level, watch for a red to green or a swing with maybe a stop around 273 area. Next one, a clean energy play, recent IPO. Not sure when earnings are, but it's only been traded for a few days, so probably doesn't have one just yet. But it looks like it took out the 40-10 level and it had an all-time high closing price, so watch for a red to green, or you can swing it with maybe a stop around 35 level. All right, here we go. Here's Digital Turbine apps. A lot of folks have been playing this for who knows how long, but one that seems to move 5-10% intraday as its normal ATR trading range. So this one looks like it did pull back after earnings on low volume, which is a good sign, and then did try to make a pivot on Friday, which it successfully did, but didn't get over this anchored VWAP. So watch for that to clear, and you can see new highs in apps. So last one before I just go through my positions real quick. So Lightspeed, nice volume on Friday and closed at, is it all-time highs? It is all-time highs. So watch for a red to green here, or even a swing play with a stop under the 67 level. And then quickly, just some positions I have. SLQT, I got in, I think, on this candle right here, potentially, or maybe it was the one on Thursday. Yeah, probably the one on Thursday where it closed at recent highs, and then had a pretty good move. I did sell half into this just because I've been iffy with the market, and honestly, I haven't really been having much luck in general, so wanted to take profits whenever I could. But we had an all-time high close, so you can see a red to green move here for some cash flow. It's hard to swing this considering it's so extended from the 20-day moving average. If I have the bands open, you can kind of see, let's see. Oh, surprisingly, we're not outside of the bands, which probably would have been a better sign. Usually when things start going parabolic, it's usually riding the outside band. So SLQT is a position I have. And then Bridgetown Holdings, which I believe is a SPAC, is another one that on increasing volume the past couple of weeks, big green days, and this is one I'm looking to add. I don't have the biggest position on this one just because I was quite frankly having a rough time. So I kept everything small. So keep an eye out for between, and overall just make sure you're following your plan and make sure that you understand the risk that you're putting on, especially if you're like me and you think that there might be a little bit of a pullback or you're just having a difficult time sort of trading a range that gaps down and then trends up all day long. So anyways, good luck, good trading, have a good one.